currently in the 6th spot, Skip. I mean, there's an extra spot that's being created by the NFL. And who knows if this pandemic that we're in, if it keeps going, the NFL has already said they might have, add an eight team into the mix. And if you look at their schedule, Skip, they're on the bye this week, and then they get Minnesota at home, at Atlanta, at Detroit, and then they get Atlanta at home. So their schedule is the 3rd easiest of the remaining schedules to be played. And I think the thing is, Skip, is that because if they were in the AFC and you got the behemoths, the Steelers, what we believe in Kansas City, I think those odds would be even lower. But because think about it, Drew Brees, is he going to come back? Do we really believe that Taysom Hill can run the gauntlet? That defense is going to have to even play better than what it's been playing in order for that to happen. Aaron Rodgers, they have some issues in Green Bay that teams can take advantage of. You can run the football against the Packers, and sometimes their pass rush doesn't show up. So being the 6th, that's not bad. I mean, there's 32 teams. There's going to be, 14 teams that make the playoffs. And so you have, slightly above average of those guys that's in there to win the Lombardi Trophy. So I like where they're sitting. Only you thought they would be 14-2 or 13-3 or something that most people thought, okay, yeah, they're a playoff team. But 10-6, 11-5, 11-5 would be the upper end, and I think the bottom tier would probably be 10-6, 9-7, and they're right where a lot of people thought they would be, except you,
except me. I did pick this team to win the NFC and get to a home Tampa Bay Super Bowl game. But I told you yesterday, I dangerously overrated the defense. I think Brady is playing exactly the way I thought Brady would play. I did not know he was going to try to force Antonio Brown into this mix in midstream.
Yeah, we thought we were done with that.
I'm not sure how that's going to play out because he barely got his
But AB doing it right. AB is playing it right. AB, keep your mouth closed because don't let them scapegoat you. Because what's going to happen if you say you need more balls, they're going to say that's why Tom Brady and the offense haven't played well. AB is the distraction. AB, keep your mouth shut. Don't let them scapegoat you on this one.
Okay, so I'm not going to back off my prediction that they at least make the playoffs. But I will tell you up front, I am shaky on them making the playoffs because of one team that has taken off very quietly, whose record is reflecting 3rd easiest schedule because the Atlanta Falcons went 0-5 under Dan Quinn. They are now 4-2 since Raheem Morris took over. And I remind you, once upon a time, Raheem Morris was the Tampa coach in 2010. They went 10-6, right? 10-6. That was with Josh Freeman. They had one great year. Then they went 4-12 the next year, and he got fired. But he can light fires, and he has lit one here.
They play a little better defensively.
I would say so. And Matt Ryan, according to Pro Football Focus, over this stretch with Raheem Morris is the 4th highest-rated quarterback over the 4-2 stretch. And what did they just do to the Las Vegas Raiders?
I did not see that coming.
43-6.
Well,
43-6.
Derek Carr had his worst game. He picked the worst time to have his worst game. But Skip, let me ask you a question. When you say you overrated their defense, I think you overrated them after that performance against Green Bay because I had been telling you earlier, I said, Skip, I see some things.
You said it. Okay, so they got to 6-2, and I'm thinking, man, this could be the best defense in pro football. And all of a sudden, over the last 4 games here, 4 games.
They've been awful.
They are 26 over this stretch in points allowed. They are 31st in passing yards allowed. Now, think about that. Over a 4-game stretch, the defense I thought was best is one step from worst overall, 31st worst on allowing pass yards because I told you Drew Brees just went up and down the field against them. Jared Goff, who's close to losing his job with the Rams, went up and down the field and picked them to pieces for a grand total of 413 total yards.
And then he stunk it up yesterday.
That's what I'm saying. He's close to losing his job. And at Miami before this game, he had 4 turnovers in the first half. So he's turning into a basket case. And yet, against this defense, they turned him into Dan Marino, right? Okay? So what am I supposed to do with a defense I can't trust anymore?
Yeah, you can't be that inconsistent because here's the thing, Skip. Once you get to the playoffs, but they might catch a break, Skip, because think about what they might do. They might end up getting the NFC East. They might play because they're going to be a wild card.
I'm just talking about getting there. Then I'm good. I'm good after that because they're going to go on the road, and I actually like this team better away from Tampa Bay than I like it at home.
You're going to play teams that can light you up offensively. The question is, Skip, can their team defense can because I believe if Green Bay get a second chance around, Green Bay will play better, and they will not
I would
hold
hope
them to 10 points. Seattle can light you up. The question is, can Seattle's defense hold up against Tampa Bay's offense?
Okay. The one thing I love about this Tampa Bay defense is they have forced 20 turnovers, which is second best in the NFL. So we got that going for us at this point where even against Mahomes.
That saved you.
Okay. It did. It kept us in the game.
It about to be 24-0.
It was, and you got that right. And then obviously there were 2 interceptions that got nullified by penalties. So at least they're getting their hands on the ball in ways Dallas never gets their hands on.
I think also, Skip, is that they were pretty good in the red zone because they kept Mahomes out of the end zone in the red zone.
Okay,
and
I'll give them that.
But what happens when the team don't need to get in the red zone and they throw 75 yards, they throw 50-yard touchdowns to get you?
I got it. But that was strategic stupidity. Because what are you doing, putting Carlton Davis solo coverage on that guy?
I mean, look, Carlton Davis ran that kickoff back against Alabama in the Iron Bowl.
He did.
That's your guy. That's his claim to fame. That was his claim to fame until Sunday.
We got 2 Auburn corners because Jamel Dean was the other one. He was out with a concussion, and he can fly.
Yeah.
Okay.
He can't fly like Tyreek, though.
Nope, he can't. Nobody can fly like Tyreek. So I look at this schedule, and I say, Minnesota comes after the bye. Can they beat them? Well,
you
probably
got Minnesota.
because the one thing this defense has done great, it's #1 against the run because everybody's throwing on it.
Exactly,
right?
yes.
But can they contain Dalvin Cook? Probably they can contain him, in part because of those 2 linebackers who are just flat-out studs.
Right.
And they can run with Dalvin.
Yes.
Okay. So then at Falcons, I'm shaky on it. I just don't know because when it's a division rival game and you got Matt Ryan on your side and all of a sudden you've gotten hot.
You might catch a break because they might be without Julio.
Well, maybe, but I think.
But they got some receivers. I mean, but if you get Julio back to pair him with Calvin Ridley and Zacharias and Gage and some of those guys.
So then at Detroit, I'm going to give them a W because I don't want to jinx it. But then the home finale is against the Falcons again. Well, they don't like Tampa Bay. Raheem Morris doesn't like Tampa Bay, so they're going to be inspired to get even for their new head coach. Maybe they're going to try to make a case he should be more than the interim head coach. And I don't know. I would like to think they could win 3 out of 4 games, that they would lose at Atlanta, but beat Atlanta and get some revenge in the home finale. What if Atlanta wins both games? Then they're going to
I don't know about all that, Skip. I mean, I think you might be overvaluing a little bit Atlanta a little more than I am. At worst case scenario, let's split. I can see Tampa sweeping them.
Can you?
Yeah.
4-2 in their last 6 games. Not bad.
Skip, I mean, the only team that they beat that you're surprised by is who?
40.